Hi, this is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north. So I want you to think about all the times that I've moaned over the last few months, especially as winter's arrived, about how much it's costing me in this greenhouse. So as we go on a little wander through here to the warmer side, and first of all, yes, Happy New Year. Forgot to mention that just in case you're watching this up to date. So I've moaned about how much the escalating energy costs are costing me over here to try and heat it to 18 degrees in the first instance, and then I lowered it to 16, then to 15, and it's still costing me an absolute arm and a leg to keep it nice and warm. And the main reasons were that it's a greenhouse. It's not really meant to be used, unfortunately, over the winter months for this kind of thing. So it's not built for that, it's not designed for that. It's single glazed, it's made of aluminium, and the bubble wrap, which is the main way of trying to keep the heat in, because obviously the best way to insulate something, or the best way to reduce your cost, is to insulate more. The bubble wrap does have limitations, and I've got several layers of bubble wrap on, and I'm still having to pay an awful lot of money. Now, one of the benefits of actually having a few days off, as Christmas and New Year inevitably do this for us. Of course, I've got to keep everything ticking along, but having a few days off in terms of thinking of video ideas and that kind of thing, it has enabled me to kind of step back and try and think of a slightly different angle. And I cannot believe that the answer was actually staring me right in the face all along. And no doubt when you hear my solution, you'll think, why on earth did he never think of that? Well, we'll come to that in a second, I promise. So I can either add more bubble wrap, or I can reduce the temperatures even further, which would mean that I can't grow some of these lovely tropical plants. For example, Begonia luxurians and some of the hippeastrums. If you can just see that over here, beautiful hippeastrum there, and loads of plants that I've got over here in the warm side. I don't want to lose the warm side entirely, but I've got another solution. I could, of course, use some polycarbonate over on the windows. It's a big job though, and it's really something that you want to do right in the first instance when you first get your greenhouse before you go and put things in it. Because where would all this stuff go if I was to completely strip it out and start to put polycarbonate in? And I'm not really inclined to do that as like a one-off job. It would be something that I'd have to do time and again. I'd have to keep doing like little sections on it. So here is my solution, and I want you to come with me for a little walk. We're going to go on an excursion out of the greenhouse for my solution. This is the most bizarre thing. It's New Year's Day as I'm filming this, and the temperature is actually over 15 degrees Celsius outside. Never known that to happen before. So if that's not global warming, I don't know what is. So no, my solution is not to do it in the conservatory, and it is not to grow things anywhere else in the house. This here is an office building. It's an outside office building, and I used it for several years when I was doing one-to-one tuition. I was a teacher for several, 20 odd years, and then I moved over to doing like private tuition, and I still have that company, but I don't do any tutoring myself. So this is the solution that I never even considered. So we have a perfect building here for growing tropical plants. It is a 10-foot by 8-foot space. Let's go and have a look inside, and we'll have a chat as why this will be absolutely perfect for growing tropical plants. Okay, now at the moment, you'll see it's still set up as an office, and my plan is to move all the warm growing plants over to here and to set this up as my warm growing area. And then in the greenhouse, I can have just the cool growers down to 12 degrees. So light, we have, when these blinds are up, we have all these windows here. These are double glazed, so they wouldn't need bubble wrap on. These are special energy saving glass panels inside here. This is no ordinary building. It's not like just like a normal outside shed. These walls are quite thick, and they are lined. Inside, they've got proper insulation inside. They've got a cladding on the inside. I think it's red western cedar, which I believe is particularly good for this kind of thing. It doesn't rot easily. There's some more red western cedar on the outside there, so you've got several layers Same with the roof up there, really well insulated, loads of space for plants. As you can see at the moment, it's set up for an office and there's a bit of junk in here as well. So all this will have to go, and I will be able to set this up as the perfect warm growing space. The other advantages are that because I'll be able to have these blinds open, we'll get loads of light in here. Because of the aspect, it would actually get sun for a few hours a day in the summer, hardly anything in the winter, but it will certainly get enough light. I imagine it will get almost as much light with the blinds open as the greenhouse would get. And of course I can always supplement that, that's not an issue. The floor again is nicely insulated. Of course it's not porous and I'll have to be careful about watering, but because these big double doors open here, it's very easy to get outside. There is guttering all the way around, so if I want a ready source of rainwater, I can add a water butt round the side. It's just perfect, and I can't believe I haven't even considered it, never even thought of it. This is just like frosted, like a plastic covering that I've put on there. I can easily strip that off if I want a little bit more light in there. Great for ventilation in the summer. It has electricity already. It even has an internet connection, a wired internet connection, which might be useful for something. At the moment I've still got loads of kind of education style books in there. My plan is that I can get some chairs in the middle here, and the plants can go all around the outside. Absolutely perfect solution. So this is made by Malvern. This is a company in the UK who make these very style office buildings. This was an ex-display unit, but it still had a 10-year guarantee. And we're just coming to 10 years that this has actually been here now, and it's still going strong, and I'm really looking forward to being able to repurpose it for something completely different. The great big space that I've got in here will mean that I'll be able to have even more of the warm growing tropical plants. Yes, I will have to heat it, of course, but I've used it as a space as an office, and it really is great in terms of you switch the heater on and then it will keep it warm and the heater will keep clicking off, and it's surprising how long that heat actually stays in here, certainly more than it will stay in a greenhouse. So I'm expecting my cost to go down considerably. The main greenhouse will then just become the cool growing area, and that will be heated to 12 degrees. So I think this may be the solution I've been looking for to reduce those heating costs and that heating bill, and at the same time I'm actually able to increase the space that I've got available to grow warm growing plants, warm orchids, warm growing tropical plants, carnivorous plants, nepenthes, warm growing begonias, and so on and so forth. Absolutely superb solution, and I'm just really thrilled that I've been able to come up with this, even though I'm a little bit annoyed at myself for not thinking of it in the first place. Yes, it's not going to be able to be used as an office anymore, but that doesn't matter because I've not used it as an office for such a long time now anyway. But that's the plan. Now, can you have a little think and tell me, is there maybe a disadvantage I haven't thought of? Is there something that you can think of that you might want to stick in the comments down below and tell me that I haven't thought of it and I better reconsider very quickly? Or do you think this is a really good idea and it's something I should definitely have a go at? I'm quite excited over it because it really does mark a new chapter in the use of this building and in my growing. It will be far more satisfying in that I will be able to keep it really quite warm, I think, really roughly 18 degrees. That's what I'm aiming for, and it's not going to cost me the absolute earth. And of course, we'll be able to see in here. I can be able to have these blinds open. We can be able to see it from the conservatory. We'll be able to see it from the kitchen and from the living room and dining room, and that will give me a little bit more pleasure too, because one of the reasons that I'm not that thrilled with having a greenhouse is that I can't see the plants unless I'm actually in there. So it would be great to be able to do that. The plan is we maybe have a couple of chairs in the middle here, and then when it comes round to summer we'll be able to sit amongst the tropical plants, open these doors here and just enjoy the whole experience. So that's the plan. So what do you think about that? Write in the comments below. Love to hear from people. I hope you've all had a really good New Year's Day, and I will hopefully very soon be able to take you on the journey with me of the transformation from this outside office into a tropical paradise of warm growing plants. And I'll just leave you with like the view of it from the kind of dining room area and the kitchen area. This is what it's going to look like. Get those blinds open and you can see it's going to really take on a new lease of life. So that's it for now. See you on the next one. Bye.